When you stop explaining? When you stop chasing? When you stop emotionally reacting? Something inside the avoidant shifts. Not because they suddenly become cruel. Not because they stop caring. But because emotional detachment removes their sense of control. Avoidant personalities are not afraid of love. They are afraid of emotional dependence, theirs and yours. And when you detach emotionally, you disrupt the dynamic that once felt safe for them. Who the avoidant really is, beyond the label. An avoidant is not someone who doesn't feel. They feel deeply. But they learned early that closeness comes with risk. Psychologically, avoidants learned. Love equals pressure. Closeness equals loss of freedom. Emotional needs equal danger. So they create distance not to hurt you, but to regulate their nervous system. They stay close enough to feel connection, but far enough to feel in control. Why your emotional availability once made them comfortable. When you were emotionally available, you reassured them. You explained your feelings. You tried to fix misunderstandings. You stayed emotionally present even when they pulled away. This allowed them to receive connection without responsibility, feel wanted without being overwhelmed, stay emotionally safe without committing. Your emotional consistency stabilized them. But it also taught them that they could withdraw without consequence. What emotional detachment really means, and what it doesn't. Emotional detachment is not coldness. It's not punishment. It's not manipulation. It's the moment you stop over-investing emotionally. Where clarity is missing. Detachment means you stop explaining yourself repeatedly. You stop chasing emotional responses. You stop regulating their emotions for them. You focus inward instead of outward. This is not rejection. It's self-regulation. And this is where the avoidant struggles. Why avoidants panic when you detach? Avoidants are comfortable with distance. Only when they control it. Your emotional detachment removes that control. Suddenly, they don't know where they stand. They can't predict your emotional availability. They feel the risk of loss, quietly. Psychology shows that avoidants feel safer when they are the one pulling away. When you emotionally detach, it reverses the dynamic. And that reversal activates anxiety. Detachment triggers their abandonment wound. Avoidants don't talk about abandonment, but they carry it deeply. Their avoidance is protection against being needed too much, being emotionally depended on, being responsible for someone's feelings. But when you detach, a different fear emerges. What if I actually lose them? This fear is subtle. It doesn't look like panic texting. It looks like sudden curiosity, increased checking, mixed signals, emotional inconsistency. They feel the loss before it happens. Why they start watching you more closely. When you stop reacting emotionally, avoidants start observing. They notice your reduced effort, your calm responses, your emotional independence, your lack of explanation. This is unsettling for them. Because emotionally, they were used to you being predictable. Detachment introduces uncertainty. And uncertainty creates psychological tension. Emotional detachment removes their comfort zone. Before, they could withdraw, you would move closer. They could go silent, you would seek clarity. They could avoid, you would stay emotionally present. Now, they withdraw, you don't chase. They go silent, you don't panic. They avoid, you stay centered. This breaks the familiar emotional loop. Avoidants rely on predictable patterns. Detachment disrupts those patterns. Why they may start reaching out again. Not because detachment is a tactic, but because emotional safety is now uncertain. Your availability is no longer guaranteed. Their nervous system feels destabilized. They may send casual messages, test emotional access, act suddenly interested, seek reassurance indirectly. This is not instant commitment. It's emotional recalibration. They are trying to restore balance, not necessarily deepen intimacy. Why they can't handle detachment long term. Avoidants can handle distance. They cannot handle emotional ambiguity they didn't choose. Your detachment forces them to confront their fear of loss, their avoidance patterns, their emotional limitations. And most avoidants avoid self-confrontation. So they either move closer emotionally, or disappear entirely. Both are responses to the same discomfort. The difference between healthy detachment and emotional shutdown. Healthy detachment is calm, is grounded, is self-focused, does not seek reaction. Shutdown is reactive, is resentful, is emotionally numbing, seeks control. Avoidance can sense the difference. Healthy detachment threatens them more, because it signals emotional independence, not anger. Why your detachment is about you, not them. The biggest misunderstanding. Detachment is not meant to change them. It is meant to protect your emotional energy. Restore your self-center. End emotional imbalance. Create clarity. If they move closer, it's their choice. If they don't, you gain truth. Either way, detachment gives clarity. What happens if they never come back? This is the hardest truth. If an avoidant cannot tolerate emotional accountability, mutual vulnerability, relational clarity, they will eventually choose distance. And that doesn't mean your detachment failed. It means the connection could only exist when you were emotionally overgiving. That is not sustainable love. Why emotionally healthy love feels different. Healthy love does not require emotional self-abandonment, does not punish detachment, does not thrive on imbalance, does not fear clarity. If someone only feels connected when you are emotionally available without boundaries, they are connected to comfort, not to you. Final message for you. When you emotionally detach, you don't lose power. You return to yourself. Avoidants struggle with this because your independence reminds them of the intimacy they avoid within themselves. If they rise to meet you, connection deepens. If they don't, clarity arrives. And clarity is always kinder than confusion.